Hi, this is BK Black Krishna for manfulwars.com, where I'm promoting polite patriotism to help nice ladies and gents teach kids, look, talk, and feel great, and locally discuss and share great info they find online, but do it offline by communicating with each other and then sharing in different ways information that can help where they live as nice, helpful people making more and improving where they live. So we're having some issues. Check out the manfulwars.com website for more on that. And feel free to comment, subscribe, get in touch, donate to, and support the Man for Wars efforts. There's PayPal and direct donation links below. And I'm one of the only people I know really seriously working on the offline information war, whereas there's a lot of people online doing great things, but there's a lot of people online talking to strangers or just leaving comments for strangers, and yet offline having trouble leveraging that. So this is something that's key, and it's key to sort of all of our futures, at least I believe, and I've got some proof on that. But this video is called, and it's related to this, Toronto Filmmakers, will you help save polite Canadians who look, talk, and feel great offline? Toronto Filmmakers, will you help save polite Canadians who look, talk, and feel great offline? I'm in Toronto, Canada myself. I see there's tons of issues. I've documented them extensively. I'm not a filmmaker per se, but there are people who are much more talented at it who could do a better job, and I can help explain why. So first of all, I did and I've done this before, I did a YouTube search on polite Canadians in my little Android YouTube app here. And in the polite Canadian YouTube search, I didn't come up with much. Just one video from 2018 with Darren Jones and Rick Mercer from the CBC, and a handful of others. There's somebody doing shots of people on the street, and it sort of gets less and less Americans making fun of us being polite. And there isn't really that much on YouTube about polite Canadians. There's a little bit here and there, but they don't have that many views, and it's not really something that's made that big a deal of on the internet, and yet it should be, because if Canadians aren't polite, then what the hell are we? What is our national character? Canadians used to be polite as hell, right? Like if anybody comes to Canada, they always talk, oh, Canadians are so polite. If Canadians go anywhere in the world, then I've been around the world before. I've been in Ireland, in a small town, in a bar with some friends, and people look at you a little strange. Hey, where are you from? They're kind of curious. What are you doing in our bar? Who are you? We got to make sure you're cool so we can all get along here. And they say, oh, we're Canadian. They go, oh, fine. No. Then they're happy because they know there's a Canadian there. Or Americans sometimes traveling overseas would put a little Canadian flag on their backpack so people would mistake them for being a Canadian. So they would be treated nicer, assuming they were nicer, and they wouldn't get as much crap as if they were Americans. So it's part of our national character, and if we lose that, we could be screwed. And this is a video from CBC Comedy from 2018 with Darren Jones and Rick Mercer saying, are Canadians polite? No, and here's why. I'll play the first little bit of it, and I'll put a link to it below, and you can see it's actually pretty funny. He does a pretty good job, but he makes the point that Canadians are in fact not polite, and especially as of 2018, that is most certainly the case. And there's an ad this time. CBC is trying to make some money off this. But yeah, there's been some serious slippage over the last 5 or 10 years, and that's what we should deal with.
Are you in good hands?
Those are the most miserable sons of bitches you would ever come across. Okay, here's the dirty little secret about us Canadians. We're not polite. No, we're passive-aggressive, and there's a big difference. Being polite means that you're considerate and respectful of other people. Being passive-aggressive means that you hate the person who took your armrest on the flight from Edmonton to Vancouver, and as soon as they go to the bathroom, you are totally stealing it back. That sounds pretty Canadian, eh? Here's another classic Canadian move. Oh, is someone in your way at the grocery store? Why would you ever politely ask them to move when you can just bump them with your shopping cart and then hit them with a Canadian sorry when they turn around? That is so Canadian. And let's talk about the word sorry. Everyone in the world thinks Canadian.
And that is a very Canadian thing to do, especially these days where people are bumping into each other forcing you to put up with them. They're acting too rude and sketchy to naturally get attention or to naturally not want attention. And then when you don't want attention, it's easy to pay attention to you, then people can. Instead, there's a lot more passive-aggressive BS going on. So I'll put a link to this below, but one of the things you can do is you can make an effort to capture on film whether or not people are being polite or rude. So that's something I recommend all Toronto filmmakers and Canadian filmmakers in general seek to do where you live, so you can prove to people that people are getting less polite, and we need to save being polite, because then we can communicate well, we can respect each other, we can look, talk, and feel great, and if anything's up, we can be people who respect each other enough to handle it as opposed to not. Another thing you can do as a Toronto filmmaker is you can work with me. Stage name Black Krishna BK for manfowars.com, where you can see as one of the last polite Canadian men here, the rest killed each other or were killed by other people acting rude, by and large, as it becomes normal. And you can see, as I walk around the streets of Toronto, the amount of rude, sketchy zombies running like crazy, trying to force me to see them look ugly, like a pretend lying, bitchy, sketchy, ugly old lady or wife or girlfriend zombie who desperately wants to force someone to see them look ugly who doesn't like it until you don't like each other and you can't communicate well, and then wants to wander around making more zombies the same way and forces you to put up with and or act like them till you're both rude and sketchy with each other, and then you go off and you can't get along, communicate well, and you go bother other people like zombies trying to make more. So if you follow me around, you'll see people walking near me, spazzing out, bothering me, trying to force me to see them play with their hair or get all worked up and sketchy and rude and sketchy and bitchy and sketchy. You'll see them running across several lanes of traffic or stopping traffic just to try and attack me because I don't want to see people look rude and sketchy. They're super turned on by the idea of forcing someone who doesn't want to see them look rude and sketchy or ugly, stressful, and confusing, and making them see them look ugly, stressful, and confusing, and thereby making another zombie who has to put up with that or act like it, and you can't do anything else with them because you wouldn't have any self-respect, so you've got to act like a zombie and spaz out and kind of scare them away from spazzing out with you, and then you become a zombie. Right? So you can see people running, you can see armies of people. I've got lots of videos of this on my BitChute and YouTube channels as well, when YouTube doesn't delete my accounts and I've got to start new ones. And you can see, and from my perspective, there's only so much I can do with my laptop and webcam or even with a handheld cam. But if you pull back and you're near me and you can show, you know, somebody running across several lanes of traffic, people hiding behind mailboxes or jumping out of trees or sneaking around corners, if you can see the sheer number of people attacking me by the dozens or hundreds or even thousands at places like the Eaton Center and so on. And I've tried to kind of put myself out there. I have the origins of how this happened at my manforwars.com website in the history section, at least an abbreviated version of that. And I want to make it easy for civilians, for the media, politicians, police, military, intelligence, security guards. I want to make it easy for them to see how bad it's getting. So sometimes I'll mix it up in the public like that, and I'll walk around, and before you could just sort of look away to avoid it, but people are getting so aggressive, you literally have to hold something up like a newspaper or whatever to avoid it while they spaz out. And it's typically lying bitches begging to be broken because they get off on being ignored. And I've got videos where I'm kind of, I got my laptop, 17-inch laptop, webcam, not trying to hide, sneak up on people, and I've got it, you know, positioned there, sunglasses, toque low, reading my phone, listening to headphones, and you'll see an army of rude, sketchy zombies running by, getting all worked up to force someone who doesn't like it to see them look ugly, and then running away happy to be ignored. Or you'll see guys, you know, damn near kill us both. I'm average height, average weight, average build, and some monsters running up, trying to force me to see them look ugly, lying, bitchy, sketchy, ugly, pretend girlfriend zombie, and then getting off on me not looking at them, and then maybe offering me their ass as an apology, trying to get me to look at that, and then don't pay attention to any of that, and then running away. And I can even say say it out loud. I can say I'm a polite Canadian. I want to see other polite Canadians. Then zombies spaz out. I want to see cool guys, straight up, get along. Zombies attack, spaz out. I want to see nice girls, walk slow, look cool, try and feel hot, and put us both in a good mood. Zombies attack, spaz out. Guys making each other into zombies and making girls and kids into zombies since you can't do anything else. Instead of guys making sure they're cool, other people are cool, where they live's cool, they do the opposite. And that's the big problem that we have today. So you can simply film me and what's around me, and you can see the number of people turning into zombies, making more, and how that process is playing out. And this is what you should do, because today, in the internet age, video is the best way to sell the narrative. And so if you're a very talented filmmaker out there, you can take some of this information, you can look at some background information, and you can show other people, and you can make it a very attractive package, and you can help save polite Canadians who can make more polite Canadians instead of letting us be turned into rude, lying, bitchy, sketchy zombies, making more rude, lying, bitchy, sketchy zombies, which is currently what's happening today. So this is a call to Toronto filmmakers. Will you help save polite Canadians who can look, talk, and feel great offline? Because that's going to be a key to our future and our ability to be polite, self-respecting people who respect each other, who can handle more as opposed to less when it comes to the upcoming 2019 federal elections and deciding, what the issues are, what's truth and what's not, and who to vote for. It'd be nice if people could respect each other and talk about these important things that affect all of us in this country, and Toronto filmmakers can certainly help with that. So, BK Black Krishna for manforwars.com. Feel free to comment, subscribe, get in touch with any questions or answers. Donate to the manforwars.com efforts. My plan is either to put it out there and help other people, as I said, civilians, police, military, security guards, intelligence, politicians, media, whoever, say, look, I don't care. I just want to live in a nice place with nice people and politely and quietly mind my business. But if I can get out there and I can help you do something, then go ahead, do something. Make it a nice place to live so nobody has to say anything about it, and we can deal with more complex issues than simply acting like human beings near each other. And so that's what I want to do. But if that doesn't work, then I want to blow myself up to the point where I'm sort of really successful at this. Lots of people support it financially and in other ways, and I get big enough. And then within 3 to 6 months, this is gone. Why? Who will fight for it? Who will talk about it? People don't like talking about it. People don't like hearing about it. People don't want to see it. People don't want to see it offline. They don't want to see it much online. So who's going to fight for it? The only people that would fight for it are lying bitches begging to be broken, who will be happy to lose and get to stop. So, there's no issues there. So how long will it take to stop something from happening that nobody likes? My guess is 3 to 6 months. Go Transit in Toronto had a better etiquette campaign when people were acting too rude to each other on the GO trains and buses traveling to and from Toronto and might drive downtown to work instead, at least a lot of them. So they put up some nice, be nice to each other posters in a tasteful way, and it worked. 40% reduction in antisocial behavior, thousands of social media impressions, 85-90% of people said they were aware of the campaign, thought it was a good idea. So these are things that can be done anywhere, among others. And Toronto filmmakers who get behind this can be a driving force behind that. And there you have it. Comment, subscribe, get in touch, donate to the Man for Wars efforts as you'd like. Otherwise, BK Black Krishna for manforwars.com. I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.